So the whole point of the Sunday reset routine is to set yourself up for success for the upcoming week. I'm Maddie James, mom of three, lifestyle expert, and best-selling author. Growing my family while simultaneously growing my business was way harder than I expected. But to build a life that mattered to me, I had to remember to put home and family first. Because honestly, who cares if you can handle business if you can't handle home? When you aim to make every day meaningful, aesthetically pleasing, goal-oriented, intentional, and consistent, you discover the personal magic of your life. Join me every week as we chat about personal accountability, household habits, work-life harmony, navigating motherhood with grace, and everything else in between. This is the Everyday Magic Podcast. Welcome to the Everyday Magic Podcast. I am excited about this episode because we're talking about something that saves my life every single week. So a few years ago, when Mesa and Callie were babies, I was so tired. I mean, obviously going from 1 to 2 kids is a lot, but I just was so overwhelmed at the start of every single week. Like we'd go through the weekend. Of course, the weekend is always a little bit more laid back, but then like you'd wake up, right? I would take Mesa to school. I would take Callie to school as well. They were going to the same school, thank goodness. But then as soon as I got back home, I didn't even have a moment to breathe. Like it would be like emails. My team would be asking me about deadlines and different things like that. I felt like I needed to post instantly just to like keep up with everything that was going on. And I just really was feeling bombarded. And before I knew it, I would blink and Chris and the kids would be home from school and he'd be like, "What's for dinner?" And I was like, I don't know, because I have not been able to think. I am overwhelmed times 1,000. It just was all so much all at once. Are you overwhelmed at the top of every single week and you want to quit before it even starts because you just don't even know where to start? You don't know how to get all this work done that you want to get done for this upcoming week. Well, by the end of this episode, you're going to learn why the Sunday reset routine is so key to making sure that you achieve your everyday magic and actually get what done and what matters to you, right? Because when it comes to all of these different things that we want to do, we have to be realistic with ourselves and properly plan. And that's why I really like the Sunday reset routine. Now, before we go any further, do me a huge favor. Send this podcast episode to one friend you know who could really benefit from it so they can get the magic too. So if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening to the audio, just take 2 seconds right now, press the share button and share this with a friend you know would really, really be helped by this. So the whole point of the Sunday reset routine is to set yourself up for success for the upcoming week. Now, as soon as the week starts, let's be honest, Monday morning hits and it just feels like go, 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 and you're being pulled in all different directions. You've got to schedule the dentist appointment. You've got to make sure you hit this deadline by Wednesday morning. You've got a Zoom call on Thursday afternoon, and you've got to make sure that you go to the kids' school on Friday to watch their performance for like National Hat Day. You know, it's always all so much. And by the time you get to the end of the week, yes, you're exhausted and you know that you've done some work, but you don't feel any closer to your goals. And that's why utilizing and making sure that you maximize your Sunday reset routine every single week is so important. Now, there's people out there who are going to be like, I mean, it's not that serious. You know, it's the weekend. I'm not doing anything on the weekend. I'm going to just do everything on Monday. Okay. I call that mindset the tragic. So when the tragic tries to hit you and make you feel guilty for using your time wisely, prepping ahead for the week, don't let them. You know, you get to make magic the standard in your life, even on Sunday. And so in this episode, you're going to learn 3 reasons why making your Sunday reset routine magic is going to help you not only get things done during the week, but have less overwhelm. For this episode, I have made an excellent resource for you to help you get your Sunday reset routine together, and that is the Sunday Reset Routine Plan. So in this PDF, I've created a couple of planning sheets for you to brain dump what you want to renew, review, and reuse for you to get ready for your upcoming week. Now, the Sunday Reset Routine Plan is available exclusively in my And More Community Resource Library. So head on over to maddiejames.com/010 to get your show notes and to find out how to get access to the resource library and join the community. Again, that's maddiejames.com/010. Okay, let's get into it. So first and foremost, what should a Sunday reset routine look like? It's supposed to look like however you need it to look like. There's so many different things that you can do, of course. For a lot of people, Sundays are a lot more chill. For my family, we get up and we go to church every morning, but we still really use Sunday as a day of rest. So after church, when we come back home, and we're really fortunate because we don't live very far from church, it's been really nice to just get home and know that we're going to chill out. I'm going to make time for rest, and I'm also going to make time to set myself up for success for the week. Now, this is pretty much something that I've established as a norm in our household. So everybody is pretty acclimated to knowing hey, Sunday is when you use time to rest, but then also get ready for school and for work. So for you, it may look differently than me. It could very much look the same. For you, you might be in a season where you are having really intense work days, or you're being stretched really thin between work or your business and extracurriculars for your kids, or maybe you're helping out in your community or at your church. Everybody's seasons look different, but everybody can utilize their Sundays to reset in a really productive and intentional way. Now, I like to use Sundays for a variety of things. I like to really organize. I like to really feel refreshed and get myself together, both physically and emotionally. So here's a list of some things you could do in a Sunday reset routine in case you don't already have one or you're looking to refresh it. So you can definitely use this as a time to, get into some feel-good self-care, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But this is definitely a time to either get your nails done, go get a manicure. You can wash your hair, maybe put a deep conditioning mask in it. You can get into some really step-by-step skincare where you use a mask, you use a scrub, maybe you're taking a bath and relaxing. You're just taking time out to journal. Maybe you're finally getting to read those magazines that you've picked up, or getting to read a book that you've been wanting to read throughout the week, but realistically, you've only had the time on a Sunday. So you could do those things. But on the other side, to be productive and to organize, you can also do your laundry and actually do the laundry, wash, dry, fold, and put away in the same day. Get crazy and really set yourself up for success, You can also do a tidy up, throughout the entire house. Make sure you know everything that you need for the week, from workout clothes to things for the kids, their lunch boxes, water bottles. If you and your husband, go working out together, you guys work out after work, you guys go to certain extracurricular activities or certain events during the week. How can you set yourself up for success? So you can just position all of those things to make sure they're in the right place so they're ready for you during the week. Doing a light tidy up, wiping down counters, vacuuming, sweeping, making sure that even pulling out clothes. My mom always would tell me to pull out clothes the night before, and it would always be this eye roll that I would give her because she would always tell me that. But it's such incredible advice. Making that small decision ahead of time, which I'm always going to encourage you to do, would really be helpful. But the other thing that can be really helpful in your Sunday reset routine is cleaning out the car. That's something that I really like to do. Vacuum it out. We have a cordless vacuum and we have the various attachments. So I'll use appropriate attachments to help me vacuum the car, wipe that down. There's something incredible about starting your week off with a clean car. I think it sets everyone up for success, especially if you're going to be in the car throughout the week. But those little things really go a long way. Make your meal plan, make some meal prep, doing all of those things does matter. But this is about making sure that you design a Sunday reset routine that works specifically for you, So I always like to encourage you to be productive early on. So for me personally, I like to be productive right after I get home from church. That's usually when The kids are having scheduled screen time. Maybe Chris is having a moment where he's either watching some television or having some screen time himself, or just having a moment to himself because he needs that too. But that's really where I like to get productive. I'll go ahead and vacuum and sweep and make sure that anything that needed to be washed and dried and folded and put away so the kids can take it to school, I get all of that done. I'll clean the car out. I'll make lunches pretty early. I'll make it before dinner gets started and all of that. And then, because typically Chris does the cooking, but by the time Chris is cooking and getting ready for Sunday night dinner, I can read a book. I can listen to a podcast. I can, go get my nails done. I can indulge in some skincare, a mask, a scrub, all of those things really make such a huge difference for me, because the week goes by like this. We have 3 small children. Our kids go to different schools. So it's quite we've got a lot going on here, which I know you do too. So I want to encourage you just to be really intentional about that, because you want to use your Sunday reset routine to set you up for success in both rest and productivity. It is this really delicate juggle, let's say that, of both. So let's talk about the 3 reasons why the Sunday reset routine is going to set you up for success and eliminate overwhelm throughout the week. The first reason why a Sunday reset routine is going to set you up for success is because you're going to renew. The whole purpose of a Sunday reset routine is for you to renew yourself, right? This is really where you can take the opportunity to rest, renew, and relax. What I want to encourage you to do is to make sure that you are allowing yourself to rest. If you need to sleep, fine. But what I will say is that so many of us need rest that is not sleep. Sometimes that's just sitting outside and getting some fresh air. If you have a deck or a front porch or a park nearby, I encourage you to do that. Go walking, sit down and put your feet up and don't do anything. Get crazy. Don't have your phone near you. Maybe watch a television show or just do some deep breathing. Just relaxing can go a really long way. But this is where your brain gets to actually physically reset. And I think a lot of times that we feel guilty when we're resting, because you can definitely feel like you're taking away from your family or you're being lazy or anything like that, but you've got to know that rest is productive. And when you rest intentionally on Sunday, even if the rest is scheduled for 30 minutes, when you're doing it in a really deliberate and intentional way, you allow yourself to actually relax, which is really, really good for you, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and absolutely spiritually. And then it allows you to say, okay, now that I've rested, I can now go forth, get things done, get ready for the week, and take on the day knowing that I've allowed myself to rest. But you're not doing something wrong simply because you're resting. I do want to encourage you to get some non-sleep rest, and I do want to encourage you to make sure you schedule it and set everybody else up in your house for success by saying, hey, I'm going to blank for blank. Hey, I'm going to go take a walk for an hour. I'll be back. I'm going to go sit down and watch a television show for 30 minutes. No one bother me. This is a great time to put the kids on the screen. I love to do that, right? Because then I can kind of schedule it. It's like, okay, you guys go get, maybe 60 minutes of screen time, and I get to just chill out and relax and read a magazine, or finally read a book, or just maybe have a FaceTime call with my sister uninterrupted. But all of those things matter, and it allows you to renew, because I think what we must remember is that we are human beings. We're not machines. And a Sunday reset routine is a really, really great reminder of that. Part of renewing, of course, is your self-care. This is such a fantastic time to get self-care done. Like I mentioned earlier, this is definitely when you can go get a manicure and a pedicure, or you can give yourself one at home, whatever you prefer. This is about doing things that help relax you. So, even washing your hair, getting into a deep mask, a deep conditioner situation is really great. I love a sheet mask on a Sunday. It always is really great to kind of reset your skin and prepare it for the new upcoming week. And so anytime you can do that, what it does also, besides relaxing you, is really that it's a nice boost of confidence. And who doesn't want to start the new week off with some confidence? So don't be afraid. Don't shy away from scheduling the self-care. So again, if you know that you're going to have a pocket between dinner time and bath time, or you're going to have a little, time in the afternoon, depending on what your schedules are, usually on a Sunday, definitely take advantage of that. Using Sunday for self-care is really huge. Don't be afraid to also get productive. I want to encourage you to do things like wash your sheets. I talked about washing your clothes, but washing your sheets is glorious as well. There is nothing like sleeping on clean sheets, And if you tackle it early on in the morning, like if you do get up and go to church like my family does, you can strip all the sheets off the bed and throw them in the washer before you head on to church. By the time you get home, you throw them in the dryer before, you guys get dinner on the table, put them all back on the beds, right? It's also a really great opportunity to teach the kids life skills like how to put a sheet on, or how to even fold a sheet, or how to make a bed. And because Sundays are a little less structured, you usually have a little bit more time, which it'll definitely take to teach the kids how to do that. So I also like to use Sundays for like life skill building with the kids, because it's a little bit more relaxed. We don't get as much pushback from the kids, and you are likely going to have more patience for that. So the second reason why the Sunday reset routine is so magic is because you use it to review. So after you renew, or hey, I don't want to tell you how exactly what order it should go in, right? If you want to renew later, great. If you want to renew earlier, great. But I must say, you will need to review to set your week up for success. So reviewing is twofold. First and foremost, you want to review what worked last week. I love auditing my week because it allows me to understand what work actually got done, and was that even worth it? Did it actually matter to me? I think so many times we have good intentions, right? You have a planner, right? You have notebooks, you're writing all these things down, whether it's goals, whether it's plans, whether it's appointments, and all of these things, right? You're writing them down. It's so important to understand if you actually got those things done, right? To just even see like, what did the integrity of your to-do list look like? How many things did you get done, right? It's not about getting an A+ necessarily, but what this will do is it'll allow you to see and understand a few things and answer a few questions you should ask yourself every single week. So when you review and audit your last week, you definitely want to see like, how much did you get done? And depending on the answer, was this a result of you having too many things on your to-do list? Did you ask for enough help? Did you delegate enough? Was there an opportunity where you could have delegated to your kids and your spouse, or even outsourced that task, for the sake of saving yourself time, and, you do have the budget for it? These are things to look at to really understand. I even want you to get honest with yourself. Besides tasks getting done and how much time you actually had, which is important, I want you to be honest about your energy. How much energy did you have depending on what you had going on? What phase of your cycle were you in? These are all things that'll allow you to say, okay, that didn't work. Let's not do that again. Or maybe I need to pass this along to someone else. Or you can look at it and say, you know what, this is what worked, because that's important too, because when you identify what worked, you can repeat it. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. But reviewing the week before, and it doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be philosophical. It's just really kind of like a real quick system to kind of be like, okay, this worked. So we're going to rinse and repeat and do that again. Whether it was a task, whether it was a meal, or whether it was, the after school program that your kid's school offers. Once you review what happened last week, next up, you then want to review or brain dump everything you want to do or must get done for the upcoming week. So this is when you do your weekly brain dump. I like to encourage you to do this on a blank sheet of paper. Do not go in and just start writing stuff in your weekly planner yet. You just want to brain dump. Once you brain dump, I want you to then omit what doesn't have to get done that week, right? Because let's be honest, there's some things that you would like to get done, but realistically may not get done, right? So kind of put that to the side in a little bank, right? Then I want you to start to pull out, okay, these are things that must get done. There's a dentist appointment, right? There's a parent-teacher conference. There's a play, right? And an example pretty much of my real life right now. There's a lot of moving parts, especially when you have a family. There's a lot of moving parts, but also you yourself have a very full life, so you may have some appointments and meetings that you need to put into your planner as well. But what I want you to do is, once you brain dump, is start organizing what you have to do for the week and start designating it to a particular day. Of course, start with your priorities. What are things that must get done? Go ahead and put that in your planner. Then go ahead and put things that have to get done, but not necessarily in a particular day or in a particular order during the week. And then lastly, you can start to add, if you have the space and capacity, you want to go ahead and add the things you want to do. Maybe you did want to grab coffee with a friend or a colleague. Maybe you did, in fact, want to have a date night with your husband to go see a new movie in the theaters. Whatever it is you want to do, as long as you have the space and the capacity for it, go ahead and put it in your weekly planner. Writing things down is one of the best ways to review and prep for what's going to happen in the upcoming week. And it's also a really great way to have something to review at the end of the week to see what got done, what needs to be carried on to next week, because that's something that may happen. If you didn't get to finish or do something last week, feel free to put it on to this current week if you know that it can get done, especially because you're asking for help. So make sure when you brain dump, you're also touching base with everyone in your family, from your spouse to your kids. It's really good to just engage, even if it's briefly like, hey, do you have this coming up? Do we have this going on? Is there anything that you want me to add to the calendar? That engagement is so, so key. And I get it, especially as women, we're usually the matriarchs of our home. We can oftentimes have so much in our heads, and we very likely know a lot of what's going on. But at the end of the day, you're not a mind reader or a psychic. So you definitely want to take time out to touch base with the other people in your family and in your household to say, hey, is this going on? What's going on with this? Do you still have practice? Just having those quick touch points of engagement goes a long way. Once you confirm with everybody that yes, something is going on, no, something isn't going on, then go ahead and write everything in your planner, because for the most part, you've confirmed it. The third reason why a Sunday reset routine is so magic is so you can reuse. You basically want to use this time to repeat what worked. That's why reviewing the week before is so massive, because any habits, any routines, or any tools that helped you have productivity and joy in your life last week, you want to definitely use it again. Rinse and repeat it. Here's something that you probably do. So many times when you do something over and over and over again, you look at it as repetition instead of consistency, right? Nothing's wrong, but you've just been using something for a while. Maybe you've seen something on, Instagram or TikTok or on YouTube or anything like that. And maybe you've seen somebody do something in a different way. And so you decide to switch it up, and it throws your whole routine off. I cannot stress this enough to you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you have been doing something every single Sunday to set your week up for success, if you've used a particular planner and you've had success with it, if you've used a blank sheet of paper and you knew where that blank sheet of paper was every single week and you could just check things off, go ahead and use it. You don't have any reason to switch up anything that has been working for you, even if you've been doing it for a while. If it's not something you're trying to do faster, better, or different, there's really no reason to change it. So I cannot encourage you enough to reuse what is already working. So write things down. Writing things down is always going to work. I don't care if you consider yourself a morning person, a night person, writing it down and making it plain is always going to be relevant. Sunday reset routine included. It just is. And so you want to write it down. Make sure you're very clear on your schedule. Make sure that you understand everything that's going on, again, in your life, but definitely in the life of your entire family. And then you also want to make sure that you are scheduling everything in a really timely manner and then prepping yourself for that. So definitely allow yourself to batch cook lunches if you work from home, and you want to make sure that you're not ordering Uber Eats every single day. Batch cooking, some barbacoa, in your slow cooker, or anything of the like, washing some fruit, going ahead and portioning out some dry snacks. So you just know where everything is, whether it's for the kids' lunch, or whether it's for your lunch, your breakfast, or whatever have you, is really great. If the meal plan worked for you last week, take the meal that was the hit, literally do it again, and then make sure you write the rest of your meal plan down so you can know exactly what needs to be cooked, what needs to be ordered, what needs to be purchased for whatever day during the week. You know, if writing down your grocery list throughout the day or on a particular day because you know you're going to go shopping, for instance, on a Thursday, so you write down your grocery list on a Wednesday, rinse and repeat and do that again. I want you to be able to identify everything that worked for you the previous week so you can rinse and repeat it again this week. And so that's why I harp on you writing what you got done. Not only what you had to do, but also check off, come up with a system to identify what got done. I would even encourage you to use a highlighter or a marker. If something went really well, highlight it in green so you know, like, this is something I want to do again because it worked out beautifully, not just for you, but for your family, and made you feel lighter, more joyous, and absolutely more productive. So don't feel like you need to switch things up, you know? Anything that I'm saying to you that you think is helpful, please use it. That's absolutely the point of this podcast. But if something's been working out for you, just prioritize it and be intentional about it. That is part of your magic. So when it comes to your Sunday reset routine and making it magic, the 3 reasons why this is so important and it's going to help you out, it's going to eliminate overwhelm, is because it's going to help you renew, it's going to help you review, and it's going to help you to reuse. Remember, renewing is relaxing, getting some non-sleep rest in, and being super intentional about it. But then remember that the Sunday reset routine is this delicate balance between rest and productivity. You also want to take the time to review and get organized. Write things down, touch base with your family, make sure that everyone's schedules are aligned so you guys don't have any schedule conflicts during the week. And then last but not least, reuse. Rinse and repeat what worked. If there's a tool, a habit, or routine that helped you have a joyous and productive week, rinse and repeat it. Don't feel like you need to change it for the sake of doing something new. And I want to make sure that you know that every single week is going to be different, but every single time the Sunday reset routine can help you. Don't be afraid to change it and tweak it accordingly, but make sure that you use Sunday to your advantage. A well-spent Sunday brings a week worth of things well planned and well done. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I am so glad that you are here. Now, before you go, if you haven't already, make sure you head on over to maddiejames.com/010 so you can get access to our community and more and get the Sunday Reset Routine Plan resource. It's available exclusively in the community. And when you head on over to maddiejames.com/010, you'll get the show notes and you'll find out information on how to join the community so you can get the resource. And what would be so helpful is if you subscribe to the podcast. So if you listen to podcasts on Apple, if you listen on Spotify, wherever you get podcasts at, you can even subscribe on YouTube. Please do. It is so helpful whenever you guys do. And I would love to know what you thought about today's episode. Take an extra 30 to 60 seconds once you subscribe and then rate and review the podcast because it helps new people find the podcast and for me to get new listeners just like you. And if you've been craving genuine friendship and a sense of community, I'm inviting you to join And More, my private community. I go live Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and we do monthly live virtual events. They're so fun. We do book club, charcuterie club, and we do monthly meal planning the 3rd Thursday of every single month. And of course, we have the And More resource library with exclusive resources like the Sunday Reset Routine Plan. For more info, head on over to maddiejames.com/community. All right, my friend, that does it. Every day matters. You might as well make it magic. Love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.